In this lesson, we will learn about the rotate tool, how to duplicate the objects, and also the reflect tool. So let's begin. Let us see the rotate tool. So here we have the rotate tool. First we will create an ellipse. We will create a petal like shape. So we will select this point. We'll make this point sharp just by clicking this convert selected anchor points to corner, and we will also make the bottommost point sharp, and then we will select the middle 2 points by holding shift, and we will use shift down arrow to move the middle points a little bit down. Now this looks like a leaf shape, and we will activate the pen tool by hitting P, and we will add 2 more points on top, and then we will hold Control in PC or Command in Mac, and then just change the shape of this leaf a little bit. It should look something like this. Right, now we will apply gradient colors to this leaf or petal, and then we will also change the gradient. So let us change the gradient. Let's remove this black slider, and we will give a different gradient color, and we'll create one more slider, and we will give it a slightly yellowish color here. Right, and then we will reduce the opacity of this yellow color to, let's say, 10%, and then we will change the direction of the gradient. We will activate the annotator by hitting G, and we will rotate the annotator. We will just change the position of these gradients. So here we are just changing. So something like this. Right, now we will just scale down the shape a little bit, and then we will now use the rotate tool. So the rotate tool is over here in the toolbar. The keyboard shortcut is R. So what we can do with the rotate tool, so we can create duplicates of these petals, and each petal will rotate by a specific angle value. So let's see the rotate tool in action now. So once we activate the rotate tool, we can find the center point on this object. It is highlighted in a blue color, so we can see the center point here. We will change the center point now. We will hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac, and then change the center point of this object, and we will keep it a little bit away from the object, so somewhere over here. And once we release the mouse, now we can see the rotate dialog. This is the rotate dialog, and already there is an angle value inside this input field. So 36 degrees is there in this angle field. So let us stick to this value, and now we need to hit this copy. We need to hit this copy button. So we can see a copy of this petal is created. Now we want some more duplicates, and each duplicate should rotate by this 36 degree angle. So if you want to continuously create the duplicates, so we need to hit Ctrl D in PC or Command D in Mac. So we should continuously hit Ctrl D in PC or Command D in Mac. So we can see here, so we have created a nice looking flower, and then we will just select the entire object, and we will just keep it at the center. So see here, and we can select another ellipse, and we can just create a bulb at the center. So something like this. We can give a different color to this bulb. So we can just give a radial gradient to this bulb. So we can change the gradient type to radial. So we can see here, so something like this. And we can also create one more duplicate behind this bulb. So we can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl C or Command C to copy, and we can create a duplicate behind this bulb. So for that we can use the keyboard shortcut Ctrl B or Command B. So we have created a duplicate behind this, and we can also change the color of this object. So something like this. So here we have created a nice looking flower using the rotate tool. Let's create one more type of flower. Let's select the ellipse tool again, and then we will again change its shape. We'll click on the topmost point, and this time we will not make it sharp. We will just drag the handles by holding shift, right, and then we will select the bottommost point, and then we will make this bottommost point sharp. Then we will change the angle of the middle 2 points, so it should look like a balloon shape, something like this, right. Then we will slightly scale this down, and we can keep it at the center. Now we will use the rotate tool. We will activate the rotate tool by hitting R, and now we will change the center point by holding Alt in PC or Option in Mac, right, and then we will use this 36-degree angle value, and then we will click on copy. That's it, and we will continuously hit Ctrl D or Command D to create different duplicates, with every duplicate rotating by 36-degree angle value, right. So now we got another type of flower, but this time what we'll be doing is we will select all the objects and we'll group them. We'll hit Ctrl G in PC or Command G in Mac, and then we will place them at the center, and we will take one more duplicate of these group of objects. So we will hit Ctrl C or Command C, and then Ctrl F or Command F. That is to place the duplicates in front of the original objects. We can also use Ctrl C or Command C, and then we can go to Edit menu, and here we have the option Paste in Front. So now we got the duplicates that are placed in front of the original objects, right, and we can hold Alt and Shift or Option and Shift and center scale the group, and now we will apply a different color to the objects in the front, and now we will select these objects in the front and create one more duplicate. So again we will use Ctrl C and Ctrl F or Command C and Command F, right, and we will repeat the same steps. Right, so then we will create a small bulb at the center. and we can change its color. So this is a different type of flower we have created using the rotate tool. So this is all about the rotate tool. To create duplicates of objects, we simply need to just hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac and then just drag and create the duplicates. So here we have created the duplicate of the star, and if we want to create multiple duplicates with equal spacing, we should hit Ctrl D or Command D continuously, so that we'll be creating duplicates with equal spacing. But for the first duplicate, we need to hold Alt and create the duplicate object. So again, we will create duplicates vertically. So here again, we will hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac and then just create the star object, the duplicate of the star object, and then we'll create some more duplicates by hitting Ctrl D or Command D. So now we can see we have created duplicates vertically, and again we will repeat the same step. So we'll hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac and then create a duplicate that is just parallel to the topmost object, right, and we will hit Ctrl D or Command D, right, and again we'll create duplicates vertically. So just we will hold Alt or Option and then create one more duplicate, and then again we'll hit Ctrl D or Command D, right. So we can actually adjust them properly. We can just align them properly, and we will create the duplicates, right. So we have created a nice border, a border with stars using the duplicate command. So the reflect tool is used to create the flipped copies of the objects. So first we'll create duplicates of this object. So we'll use the rotate tool here. We'll change the center point, and then we will use this 18 degrees inside this angle input field, and then we will hit copy, and now we will create duplicates by hitting Ctrl D, right. So we got the duplicates on the left side of this object. So now what we'll be doing is we will group all these objects. We'll shift select all these objects, and then we will hit Ctrl G or Command G to group them, right. Now we want the flipped copies of this group on the right side. So for that, what we'll be doing is we will activate the reflect tool. The reflect tool is beneath the rotate tool. So the keyboard shortcut for reflect tool is O, right. And now we will change the center point of this group of objects. So we will hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac and then just drag the center point and place it beneath the first object, and then release the mouse. So once we release the mouse, we can see the reflect tool, and here in reflect tool the axis needs to be vertical, and we will just hit copy. So we can see the copies of the first group is created on the right side. So this is how we can flip objects or create flipped copies of a particular group using the reflect tool. So now let's use both the reflect tool as well as the rotate tool and create an interesting example. In this example, we'll create a wreath using both the reflect tool as well as the rotate tool. So first we will just scale down this object. We will slightly rotate the object, so it should be like this, right. Now we will create a flipped copy of this object. We will activate the reflect tool. We'll simply hit O on the keyboard. Now the reflect tool is active, and then we will hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac, and then keep the center point over here, and then release the mouse to open the reflect dialog. So inside the reflect dialog we will just hit copy, right. So now we have created the flipped copy of this object. Then we will slightly move this object, right. Now we will group both these objects, and we will just scale them down a little bit, right. Now what we'll be doing is we will take a duplicate of this particular object. So again we will hold Alt in PC or Option in Mac, and then create a duplicate exactly parallel to the original one, right. And then we can flip this duplicate. To flip this duplicate, we need to right click on the object, and then here we have the option transform, and again here this time we will use this reflect, not the reflect on the toolbar. And then we can just select the option horizontal to flip the object upside down, and then we'll click OK. That's it. Now we will select both these objects, and then we will use the rotate tool, but this time we will not access the rotate tool from the toolbar. We will right click on both these objects, and then we will go to the transform options, and then here we have the rotate. We will use this particular rotate, and when we use this rotate, here we can see we got the angle here. Angle is 18, but we will reduce the angle value to 9, and we will just hit copy. And now we will continuously hit Ctrl D or Command D. So we can see here, this is a wreath that we have created. So we can just scale it down. So see here, this is the wreath. And we can do one more thing. We can group all these objects, and we can create one more duplicate copy of all these objects. So we can hit Ctrl C or Command C, and then Ctrl F or Command F to paste the duplicate copies in front. So something like this, and we can change the color. We can change the fill color. So we can see here, and we can turn off the stroke. We can adjust them properly, position them properly. So that's it. So here we have created a wreath using both the reflect tool as well as the rotate tool. Stay tuned.